Good morning. Guys, I was in education for 20 years before I got into real estate, and when I was a brand new teacher, I didn't have children, so I remember every afternoon when I get home from school, the Oprah Winfrey show was on, and I remember often her saying, "We teach people how to treat us." Think about that for a minute. We teach people how to treat us. And so the way that we behave, the way that we portray ourselves is going to attract the same kind of people generally, but we teach people how to treat us. So let's think about that for a minute from the buying standpoint. I got a call from a young buyer a couple of days ago, not even 21 years old, who said to me, "I'm thinking about buying a home soon. We're tired of paying rent. We're thinking about buying. What do I need to do?" And so I said to him, well, the very first thing you need to do is I will give you the names of some mortgage brokers, some lenders. Give one of them a call, whoever's first available to talk to you, and tell them that you're looking to start house hunting with me and you want to get pre-approved so you know your budget. Now, I get this call probably 3 or 4 times in a week, literally, from buyers who are renting and who want to buy a home. And I would say about 65 to 75% of those people I never hear from again. I give them the name of a lender. I say, listen, you need to call them and see what you need to do to get pre-approved. Sometimes you can give them your information and they will do a verbal pre-approval. Sometimes they require you to do a full application based on the answers to your questions. But how do I know when a buyer is motivated and I really want to work with them? So thinking about, you teach people how to treat you. So if the buyer calls me, I say call a lender or a mortgage broker and get pre-approved. Then what they should do, if they're really, really serious about being a buyer in the near future, is to do what I told them to do, right? They should call, they should get pre-approved, they could get it done real quick, or they can take all the time in the world they want. But this other example, this young buyer literally got pre-approved within 30 minutes because that's how quickly he got his information to that mortgage broker, to that lender. And listen, that's organized, because they're asking for your last 3 pay stubs, your last 3 bank statements, your last 3 tax returns, those kinds of things. And so you have to really know where all those documents are to get pre-approved real fast. Talk about that person was motivated. What does that say to me? He's organized, he's motivated, he has amazing credit, he is ready to buy a house. So I am going to be so motivated to work with that person, right? But in the same instance, if I get a call from someone who says, I want to get pre-approved, I want to buy a house, and I give them the name of a lender, and I may check with the lender the next day and say, did such and such get in touch with you? Yeah. And maybe they're not motivated, maybe they're not just organized. So listen, know that most lenders are going to ask for your last 3 pay stubs, your last 3 income tax returns, your last 3 bank statements, those kinds of things. So those are the kinds of things that you just want to know where they are, keep them organized, keep them in a folder, so that when you are ready to buy a house, you are motivated, you are organized. And listen, when you're motivated and you're organized, people want to help you. They just genuinely want to help you. So you teach people how to treat you. If you're a hard worker, if you're motivated, if you're organized, if you're not a mess, then they're more inclined to go all out of their way to work with you, okay? From the selling standpoint, you teach people how to treat you. So let's just talk about 2 different instances. Let's say that you're ready to sell your house, but you have never been the type of person that really kept up your yard, you didn't really keep up your house. Listen, people know this. People in the community know that that you were a mess. So that's going to be hard to overcome. We teach people how to treat us. So I tell people, when you're ready to sell your house, you want it to look amazing when it hits the market in pictures, because first impressions are huge. You teach people how to treat you. What does that mean? When potential buyers are looking online to buy a house, they're wanting a house generally in a certain price range, in a certain neighborhood, in a certain area, but they want to feel like the house that they're thinking about buying, you took care of it. You took pride in it. You are proud that it has hit the market. And so what does that do? You're going to attract more buyers. You are going to have a huge advantage when that buyer goes into that house with an inspector, because when the inspector walks through the house and walks through the doors, remember, you teach people how to treat you. If an inspector feels like you took amazing care of your house, they're not going to be so inclined to just nitpick it to death and really investigate and investigate and investigate, because you can tell from the minute you set foot on a property and into a home if the sellers really genuinely took pride in where they lived and took care of things, right? But if when you walk in, it's obvious, maybe it stinks, maybe it's dirty, maybe your air conditioning filter looks like it hadn't been changed in years, maybe you have dirt on your ceiling fans, listen, all the things, right? You can tell when a person has really gone out of their way to make a house ready, especially, listen, we all live for the most part on a regular basis like pigs. I mean, I know my house is not always immaculate, but when it hits the market, it is going to look like it just stepped out of the showcase of Southern living. It's going to be immaculately clean. The landscaping is going to be updated. I'm going to have a welcome mat. The back door is not going to be all scuffed up like it totally is, because we teach people how to treat us. So when an inspector walks through the door, and then listen, not just that, you get through inspections as the seller, right? And it's up for now appraisal. It has to appraise for the price that's agreed upon on that contract, or the buyers have the right to walk away, right? Or you have to lower the price to whatever it appraises for. So imagine this. Two houses in the same neighborhood, priced the same, right? But the appraiser looks online, and the pictures you can tell of one home maybe might be just professional, may not be professional pictures. It may be that the realtor took them with their cell phone. And listen, I don't care if you have the newest cell phone. Professional photography will always look a million times better when somebody pulls it up online. Every single time. So that appraiser, before they ever step foot on the property, first impressions are huge. Remember, we teach people how to treat us. So if they pull up that listing and they can tell you have taken care of it, that it looks amazing, then their first inclination is to try to work so hard for you, because you've worked so hard to prepare it. So they want to work hard for you, right? But if they pull up your place and it just looks like you threw it out there and just said, listen, I'm throwing it out there, I'm just hoping it sells. They can tell. And so they're not going to be as inclined to work hard to get you the sale price that you and the buyers have already agreed on. So you got to remember that. We teach people how to treat us, and that means from the selling standpoint, making sure that your house, when it hits the market, you are so proud of it, okay? And again, as the buyer, that you have done all the things that you need to do to be a buyer, Now remember, getting pre-approved before you start house hunting shows that, number one, you're on the ball, number two, you're organized, but number three, you have a huge advantage over any other buyer that is not pre-approved and that doesn't have a pre-approval letter from a lender, from a bank, from somewhere, for the amount of the offering price that you're offering on that house. Or it might be a little bit more, right? But that you're ready to go. We teach people how to treat us. And I'm telling you, when you're an organized buyer and you know what you want, then that realtor that you choose to help you is going to work their ass off to meet you where you are, right? So if you're motivated to find a house, if you're pre-approved, If you've done all the things that you need to do, find yourself a realtor who's going to work their asses off like you have to get to where you are. And of course, if I'm in your area, I'd love to work with you. If I'm not in your area and you do not know where to start to find a realtor to work with you, either as a buyer or a seller, give me a call, because listen, I have friends all over the state of Louisiana. If you're looking to relocate, I can find you a realtor friend wherever you're moving to. There are plenty of great agents in any area, but there are also plenty of them that are going to do just enough to get by. Buying or selling a home, it could be potentially one of the biggest decisions of your life. So you need someone on your side who is going to meet you where you are, right? Y'all enjoy your Thursday. I am actually off to meet with clients of a beautiful home. From what she's told me, and I looked it up on Google Earth, it's a beautiful home. I haven't seen it in person yet, so I'm gonna have those details pretty soon if they are ready to list it. So I'm hoping that they have been listening to my videos and they are ready to go, and then it'll be, if you are a buyer, another potential house for sale coming very soon. Now be on the lookout for lots of houses that I've worked with sellers who are currently working on their to-do list to get it ready to hit the market, and those will be coming in the next few days, next few weeks, depending on how long the sellers take to get through their list of to-dos. Remember, there are no stupid questions in real estate. The only way you're going to learn, whether you're a buyer or a seller, is ask all your hard questions. Find a realtor who is patient, who is going to answer all your questions. I would love for that to be me if I'm in your region, of course. But if I'm not, I absolutely can recommend somebody to you. Y'all have a great Thursday, great weekend. And if you're looking to buy or sell, you know how to find me. I'll take care.